Hi and welcome once again to the South China Morning Post's Racing Podcast. I'm Alan Aitken and today is the 15th of November, Sunday racing, and you can tell that we're getting into international time because we had Sacred Kingdom tuning up with a big trial on Tuesday, and today the running of the Cathay Pacific International Cup Trial. A real international flavour getting into the air. We've got Scenic Blast already here, the Australian sprinter, and Eagle Mountain, Mike de Kock's horse, aimed at the International Mile Trial next week on the way to the Hong Kong Cup, is due today. So international, very much the flavour of the day. But firstly, the news, and Sean Woods will retain French jockey Johan Victoire as of later this week. Victoire and Woods hit it off enormously last season when Victoire made a very good impression in a 3-month stint with 10 winners from 115 mounts, but his stats for Woods were 9 wins from 36 mounts. He will arrive this week. He'll begin riding next weekend, and he is retained for the next 3 months. Well, with no further ado, let's take a look at today's feature, and that is the International Cup Trial, 2,000 metres, and for the first time in its history, it's very short history, there have only been 7 previous runnings of the race, but for the first time in its history, there will be a full field of 14 today, and hopefully that means that we will get a more truly run race than has often been the case with the small fields in the past. As a guide to the Hong Kong Cup, well, you couldn't say it's a great guide. Only Vengeance of Rain was able to win both events, but there have been circumstances to that. Horses like Viva Pitaka in the last 2 years, unlucky in the Hong Kong Cup after winning the International Cup Trial on the way. Ain't Here, an earlier winner of the Cup Trial, was knocked down badly in the Hong Kong Cup. And Elegant Fashion was just unlucky that she ran into horses like Falbrave and Rakti on Hong Kong Cup Day when she finished third to them after winning the Cup Trial. But it's a Cup Trial certainly chock full of interest. Darren Beedman has switched from Collection to Viva Pitaka, the nominal pick from the John Moore stable, but I'm sure it's something that Darren agonised over, and I've gone for Collection with Wei Chong Mawing in the saddle to upset the apple cart for the Moore stable. Certainly he was not the best of the Moore runners first up. Viva Pitaka's effort behind packing winner in the Sha Tin Trophy was much better, but I do think that Collection was well behind Viva Pitaka in fitness that day and will take an awful lot from the run, whereas Viva Pitaka may only just hold that form. Remember, second up last season, Collection had run out of puff first up at 1,400 metres and been beaten by Express Win. Second up, he absolutely trounced a good field, including Mr. Medici. So I'm hoping he makes the same improvement second up today and establishes himself as the leading light for Hong Kong in the Hong Kong Cup next month. But certainly there are plenty of chances in the race, a wide open affair, and we'll be looking for big performances too from Viva Pitaka, Thumbs Up, Young Elite making the step into the big time, and even horses like Packing Winner and Unique Jewellery, who was back to his best last time, have got to command some sort of respect in the race. It's a great race, certainly worth going along to see. The Cathay Pacific International Cup Trial, I've gone for Collection. Jockey Challenge time, and Douglas Whyte was able to break his record run of outs at Happy Valley on Wednesday, but he still had to play second fiddle to Brett Prebble, who managed to win 4 on the card there, and Brett is the long odds-on favourite to dominate the program again today at Sha Tin. The odds makers went up $1.55 as the odds for Brett Prebble in today's Jockey Challenge, with White second pick at 6.5. So you can see Brett Prebble really dominating this market. He has 6 overnight favourites, and 2 of them, Taverner and Algarve, are going to go around as probably the shortest price favourites all day. It might take an earthquake to defeat Prebble in the Jockey Challenge today, but then we have seen some very short priced commodities go over in the Jockey Challenge before. So if you take the odds, hold on. It'll be an exciting ride, whatever happens. Best bet, and I've gone for one of Prebble's mounts, but one of his lesser lights on the card. Race 5, number 9, Ecosta Don. The David Hall stable is absolutely flying at the present, and I think Ecosta Don showed with his first up win in Class 5 that he's turned the corner. He has shown good ability at times in the past, and if he can hold that form from the first up win, I think he'll be right in the fight in Race 5, number 9, Ecosta Don. Well, that's all for this edition of the South China Morning Post's Racing Podcast. For more on the stories you've heard here, take a look online at www.racing.scmp.com or pick up your copy of today's Sunday Morning Post with the big lift-out guide to Cup Trial Day at Sha Tin. I'm Alan Aitken. Good punting.